G'day everyone, Jason Nunn, Fisherman's Warehouse, Tackle at Marks Point. This Friday's fishing report, absolute blue sky above us. Have a look at this ocean out here at the moment. It is flat. And of course this afternoon we'll have a little bit of an east nor'easter, but not too bad. Tomorrow the nor'easter late in the afternoon. Expected, I think it's going to be probably 20-25 because we're going to have a fairly warm day tomorrow, around about 31 degrees, and a southerly switch after lunch on Sunday. That cyclone is going to basically come down the coast and head obviously towards New Zealand. We'll probably see a little bit of weather from that probably Monday and into Tuesday. Game fishing is where basically all the attention's got to be. Big fish bonanza last weekend. 61 black marlin tagged off Swansea, striped marlin, some blue marlin, a couple of very good fish caught, 367 kilo tiger shark, 324 whaler shark. Some great fishing happening all the way along the coast, the Central Coast this weekend, skins tournament tomorrow. Black marlin everywhere. Now look guys, just a tip on these black marlin, you don't have to go to the shelf to catch these black marlin. They're on all of our coastal reefs. A lot of guys talking about it, trying to catch things like snapper and kingies with live baits or even floating pillies, and encountering these small black marlin fish from 15 kilo, probably up to 30 or 40 kilo. I know off Nelson Bay at the moment, they're, I could say, plague proportions, and that's probably the case. There's guys getting 10 to 15 marlin per day, releasing of course, a couple of guys keeping a few. Some of the bigger fish have come in the last week. I've heard some reports of fish up to 60 kilo plus in amongst these small fish, but it is probably one of the best seasons we've seen since about 1997. So this is how far we're going back, but they're absolutely everywhere. Live bait is preferred. Slimy mackerel or live yellowtail. Live yellowtail proved quite successful for a few of the competitors last week. And I know Alex, they caught 3 on Sunday, all on live yellowtail. You've just got to get something live in the water, guys. Fluorocarbon, look, as low as 50 pound and probably up to about 70 pound, and obviously a circle. Look, and just be careful of these black marlin, guys. Very dangerous fish in close if not handled correctly, so you've got to play safe. Dolphin fish, there's a few out on the fad, guys, but look, not a lot of size. There was a few tagged last weekend, but I'm not seeing these bigger fish. I know there's some better fish out on the shelf, obviously some big striped marlin still on the shelf, and there was a cracking yellowfin off our part of the coast last Saturday, 61.5 kilo. Just shows the caliber of the fish that's physically out there at the moment. There will be some fish on the farm, a few kings and reds. These inshore reefs at the moment, it's typical of February, guys. It's all about pelagic fish. The snapper just really aren't there. There's a few there. There's a lot of flathead on those gravel grounds or just off the backs of the reefs on the sand. A few kings, but a lot of bonito, and a real variant in the size of the bonito. Some fish, 12 inches long, and others a little bit bigger. Had some reports this week. Wahoo, certainly wahoo out wide, and had a report on Monday by a very excited angler who fished off Newcastle early in the week, caught a wahoo coming back from the fad off Newcastle in around about 70 metres of water. Got to be very careful with these fish too, guys. Got sharp teeth and they hurt. So, but it's just telling you what's happening. A sailfish 2 weeks ago at Port Stephens as well. It's all about this coastal activity. 23 degrees on the beach, and you'll see it behind me here now. That water is absolutely beautiful. On the beaches, plenty of whiting still around, obviously brim dart and a few tailor. But the biggest problem most of us are going to be faced with this weekend and possibly into the next month or two, no tube worms. Now basically, Lesser Aquaweight has suffered a huge loss out there about a week and a half ago, where the water in the tanks basically boiled. The water coming in reached as high as 33 degrees, and it has virtually killed almost 4/5 of the stock. It's going to take 3 to 4 months for these tube worms to be farmed back to a decent size. So really over the next few weeks, in the cleaning of the ponds, we'll start to see a little bit trickle through, maybe a kilo here and a kilo there, but don't expect much at all. And I know if I get a kilo, I'll be up front. I'll just have to ration it to about $20 bags, guys, because it's just not enough to go around. Hasn't happened at the best time, but you can imagine the Aquabait team losing, what is considered to be probably a ton of tube worms during this accident. So absolutely terrible. New South Wales Anglers Association have got their state titles in Lake Macquarie this weekend. That starts around about midday tomorrow, right through to around about, I think it's about 10 or 11 p.m. on Sunday. We're fishing all night. Brim certainly around, definitely whiting, but again, without tube worms, you've got to sort of look left of field, maybe some live prawns or some nippers of some degree. Still some flathead around, but they are in that quiet period at the moment. There's still some nice ones around, but you'll need to move around. I reckon lures are probably the pick of those. And kingies, as I said, I did the skeds last week from down at the way station. The Swansea Bridge area was absolutely alive with boats and certainly kingfish. Heaps of kingfish in the lake and heaps of kingies in the channel itself. There are a few squid getting jigged in the channel, and we're starting to see a few now in the lake. So that's as we're starting to move into February, March, when typically they gather up to spawn. But you've got to remember, guys, these kingies in the channel, again, it's got to be 65 centimetres. I've seen some kingies get caught, particularly last Sunday. They would definitely not have been 65 centimetres. So, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to be sensible about it. They're making a comeback, the kingfish. We just don't want to spoil it by doing basically the wrong thing. Jewfish of a night in the lake, definitely, and there's still plenty of crabs around. So look, fishing wise, I think the only thing that really is quiet is probably the rocks. But again, if you're a keen angler, you want to get down there early, spinning for your bonito and some of these tailor that are now starting to come in coastally is really what I would suggest. It's about enjoying it this weekend, guys. Get out there, let's have a bit of a dig. If you've never caught a marlin, I've got to tell you, you'll never get a better opportunity. Shoot out next weekend at Port Stephens, where it's all happening again. Look forward to next Friday. Tight lines, get stuck into them. Let's go. Friday. Let's get out there.